Hey guys, Celeste the Silver Cord here doing a quick little February reading for Pisces. We just came out of that really big lunar eclipse in January and we're coming into an Aquarius new moon here. And we have Venus back in your sign. So I'm just going to see what kind of energies you guys are bringing into February. We had a lot going on last month, but Venus being in Pisces, and its only real opposition to that is Sagittarius and or Mars in Sagittarius. So it's a lot of focusing on what we really want, and it's a lot of really listening to where our hearts is. And you guys' hearts will be on overdrive with it being in its home sign with you, your planet being in your sign. So let's just see what Pisces has going on for February 2020. What energies are we bringing into February 2020? All right. Here we go. We got the Two of Summer, falling in love with making a serious commitment to someone. Forgiveness and resolution of a problem. Don't give up. Your relationships can be healed. So this is really you listening to your heart, whether you're coming into a relationship with somebody new after being hurt before and really opening yourself up to love, or if could be resolving some tenuous areas you could have been having with a partner for a while now. You're really listening to your heart on ways that perhaps you can look at the situation differently to try and help resolve that. Nine of Autumn, rewarding yourself for all your hard work, being happy and successful in self-employment, cherishing your time alone. So this could be where you were putting in a lot of effort for a relationship to the point that you weren't really doing things for yourself, and it's time you've been shifting that energy to give yourself more time to do things that you enjoy so that you can find your own self-satisfaction. Ace of Summer, opening your heart to love, like I said with the first card, an intimate relationship or a rebirth of a current one, awakening psychic abilities or spiritual empathy. So if you've been going through a major spiritual shift, that could really rock how you look at your relationships, and it could really cause you to get introspective for a while. And I see you really opening your heart back up after all these hard shifts and all these new revelations. And, you know, this could be an awakening of more of your empathic abilities or psychic abilities that have been kind of rocking you a little bit. And you're finding a way to balance those with being able to open your heart and reconnect and repair some of these relationship problems you've been having with those around you. We got the Magician here. You can do anything. Take charge of your life. You can manifest what you need to be a success. So with your planet being in your sign, you're really getting a rush of that creation energy and that manifesting energy to start manifesting what you want into this dimension, in this reality. The High Priestess, trusting your intuition, careful reflection before taking an action, insights that come through meditation. So I see a lot of spiritual work going on for you guys over January and coming into February. And throughout February, you really learning how to retrust your intuition now that it is on a different perspective or different plane than it was before. As you have evolved, your intuition has evolved too. So you see more, and you're learning to balance out what is truly your intuition and what is the fears that you have been getting. and taking time to meditate and balance to figure out what truly is your what truly is your intuition, so that you can manifest what you want into this reality. The King of Summer, a romantic partner you can trust, excellent advice that comes from the heart, getting involved in cultural or creative endeavors. So yeah, this is back to opening your heart to allow other people to come in and help you and aid you and support you, and those that do genuinely support you for who you are and they believe in what you're trying to do for yourself. And this could be in a romantic partner coming in February, or this could be a renewal of a partner that you've been struggling with for a long time. You're coming into a new phase with them. With all these planets moving from Capricorn to Aquarius, it's moving more from the work all the time, trying to distract yourself with work kind of energy, into the more broad perspective, seeing how it all affects all your relationships and really getting introspective with it and taking a detached viewpoint. And that is allowing you to reach a place where you could reopen your heart to others and start trusting people again, so that you can co-create and manifest some really good things here in February. All right, let's see what we got going on. What is the undercurrent for Pisces coming into February and for February 2020? Pisces. February 2020. I see whatever you've been doing with your skills, you're hitting a point where the responsibility of your skills and maintaining passion for what it is you're doing. Because we all tend to be, especially with Pisces, I mean, you're two fish with your tails tied together, and you can fluctuate between being really inspired to create and then having trouble finding that inspiration again. But I see you've put down some solid foundations here that you'll be, or putting in fresh solid foundations in February. I do see a conflict coming in, something that will really rock your little cup of emotions there and kind of get you a little off balanced. Looking at towards the mid-February, I definitely see it's a conflict. Involving your passions, perhaps trying to find a way to balance them with the relationship and work and relationships. This could be an outside force. I'm not really seeing this with the 5. I'm seeing this as a lot of people on the outside of your relationships casting judgment that have you kind of rocked here mid-February. Oh man, okay. All right, let's do this. Don't be scared, I got you. Here we go. So, you're really wanting to create and manifest with all this beautiful manifestation energy in your heart. You know, Venus back in Pisces is all about art and creativity and beauty and all of that. So I'm seeing you really want to embrace skills that get you into this material building, this beautiful world around you and creating around you. You do have some troubles fluctuating between being really passionate sometimes and really in a creative mode, and then kind of having like a writer's block or a creative block. So you switch back and forth pretty easily, which is really an emotional thing for you guys. Your emotions are so tied to your creativity, and with you being the two fish that are always pulling in different directions, it's just a matter of getting those fish to swim in the same direction and putting in some solid foundations towards what you're trying to create. And this is going to be a time for you to be doing this here in the beginning of February. Now, with the back and forth with your emotions. I do see your emotions being rocked here, and I see this as being conflicts that are outside of your relationships, judgments perhaps from family members, things like that, that think that, you know, either you're not doing enough or you could be doing something different or you need to do it their way, and just kind of nitpicking and being in, putting stress on your own relationships when it's really none of their business. These are people outside influences that allow you to, you know, and it rocks you a bit when it comes to your passion, and it rocks you with your lust and your creative energy here. The Knight of Rods is all about energy and passion and lust and adventure. And when you hit these hard times, when your guys' emotions are really locked, you have a tendency to really box yourself in real tight so that your emotions don't spill out anymore, and you just kind of grind mode it. And that can kind of drain your energy a bit. So just be mindful of whether or not you're allowing people that are outside of your relationships to affect your relationships. But I see you trusting your intuition and making those hard choices to cut people out that are causing nothing but conflict. If they cause nothing but conflict, and no matter what you do, anytime you try to open up to these people, they just come in and cause conflict, and they keep creating that same cycle of conflict over and over again. I see you guys mustering up the strength after being rocked, seeing people for who they are, and just really being ready to cut those cords. And then I see you, boom, King of Rods. So now this is all being really into your passions and your adventure, and you're really wanting to create and manifest here by mid-February. King of Swords, just really using your words wisely, clear thinking, being intellectual about things, you know, mind over heart here towards the end. Since your King of Hearts was turned upside down in the beginning of February, by the end of February, you are clear thinking. You're looking at things from an intellectual, raised perspective, especially with all those signs going into Aquarius, really giving you a higher perspective on things where you can make those head over heart decisions. Now you got the Four of Swords here reversed. So this is really not taking time to recuperate. I see you bouncing back from these conflicts a little bit faster, and not being passive, not just letting people passive aggressively pick you apart anymore. You're kind of over that. You don't want to go into those inner stuck in your little solitudes anymore. This is where you're really embracing who you're becoming, and you want to be this person. Seven of Swords, you're walking away from these conflict driving people. You're not going to let them dictate how you're going to live your life anymore. And then you've got the Five of Swords, which still is conflict. So I'm seeing this a lot of like maybe family or cords that you just can't cut. This could be people that your partner is attached to. So with the Seven of Swords, this is kind of walking away from the conflicts and accepting defeats as defeats. It's not a loss, it's a lesson. You're accepting these defeats for what they are so that you can move past them. You're not going to win arguments with everybody. I mean, you can play chess with the pigeon if you want to, but it's still going to strut around the board, knocking pieces over, shitting on it, acting like it won. So you're accepting it as a defeat, but not as a personal defeat, but just as a defeat of you're not going to be able to resolve every conflict. You're just going to have to let some lie. But by the end, you have the Queen of Hearts here. So you're really in control of your emotions with this, and you can be maternal, and you can be loving, and you can be fierce at the same time. And yeah, standing firm that your emotions are valid, and you are allowed to have them, and they are allowed to come and go, and that is just the nature of things. Nobody is high all the time. Nobody is low all the time. These things come in waves, and you are really about controlling, not so much controlling, but being able to flow easier through these cycles by the end of February, and being able to stand firm in yourself and your transformative energy by the end of February. All right, so let's see. Well, that was pretty quick. All right, so we got the fog and veiled. When you're in the forest and you're lost and there's a fog, there is no sense to continue wandering around in circles when you cannot see where you're going. This is all about waiting for the sun to rise and waiting for the fog to burn away so that you can make clear decisions on where you're going. And you can be found and you can find yourself. But while you are searching around in the fog, you're just going to get yourself more lost. So this is all about taking time to sit still and quiet your mind and quiet the waters of emotion so that you can get this double king energy I see coming towards you here by mid-February. You know, this intellectual heart over mind, and it's just a matter of waiting for the emotional waves to pass by and the fog to lift before you make any harsh decisions or before you allow anybody to get you baited into these toxic cycles again. Allow for the emotional waves and allow for, you know, the planetary movements and things like that. Allow them to come in and not roll you over every time, and let that emotional wave and that fog lift before you start making any big moves, so you don't find yourself more lost and you don't find yourself lost in this forest of emotion. You can get through it. You can see clearly where the paths lead. All right. I hope you enjoyed that, Pisces. If you liked it, please like, share, subscribe, spank the bell to get the notifications. If you'd like to join us for more in the Coven, the Silver Cord, we do cards and coffees. My friends do messages from the universe. You can figure out where to get buddies, how to get cool jewelry like this, all that good stuff, and I'll leave that link below. And I will talk to you guys later.